Welcome. My name is Kathy Beveridge. On behalf of the League of Women Voters of Bucks County, I would like to welcome you to this interview with Patricia Carman, candidate for Region 3 School Director for the Central Bucks School District. The League is a nonprofit, nonpartisan volunteer organization dedicated to empowering voters and defending democracy. We want all voters to cast an informed vote in every election, and these interviews, as well as our online voters guide, vote411.org, will give voters a chance to learn where their candidates stand on the issues. We have invited all candidates running for school director in the Central Bucks School District to participate in these interviews as a service to the voters of Bucks County. These interviews are unedited, and candidates were provided with the questions in advance. All candidates are being asked the same 6 questions and will be given 90 seconds to reply to each. Welcome, Patricia.
Thank you, Kathy.
The first question is, why do you want to be a school board director and what are your qualifications?
I decided to run for school board director because I've been very close to the school situation over the past few years. And my desire is to really make a difference in our community. It's no secret that Central Bucks has had its challenges over the past few years, and we continue to have those challenges. So I felt that I wanted to run and potentially make a difference. My qualifications, well, over the past 30 years, I've been in a management and planning role. I was a team leader at American Express Travel. And in that role, I was on the front lines managing a diverse group of people and clients in several different geographical areas across Pennsylvania. And when you manage people, you do learn how crucial mutual respect, listening, and collaboration are to finding solutions. And I do believe that Central Bucks, that's something that we desperately need. In my current role, I'm with the American College of Physicians, and I work with physicians all over the United States, and we provide medical education CME credits to internal medicine physicians. This does require a high level of service and attention to detail. We also have to consistently stay within tight budgets and provide financially sound solutions. I think that experience would help me at Central Bucks.
Okay. What are the 3 most pressing issues for the Central Bucks School District?
For me, the 3 most pressing issues, and this does not go in this order, but I'll give you 3. First would be our teachers and support staff. We are losing our top talent at Central Bucks for several reasons. We are all burnt out from COVID, and this extends to our teachers and support staff. I believe that through the COVID nightmare that we all went through, our schools became a battleground, and I think that we've lost our focus in the mess of COVID, and we've become a divided community. This has led to a difficult atmosphere for everyone, including our teachers. There is an invisible wall between administration and the board that I think needs to go away. Our district also needs to pay equally and competitively, or we will continue to lose our staff and our teachers, which in turn directly impacts our students' learning. I think we have to address the learning gaps. That's the second thing. Education is the great equalizer. We talk about equity and equality without providing support to our kids with the learning differences and all the rest of our kids, even refugee children, we can't address those learning gaps. And also I would push for safer schools. I think no school is completely safe, but I think a multi-pronged approach would help us have safer schools. I think my time is up.
Thank you. What is the role of schools in teaching children about racism, sex education, and gender equity?
Racism has been a part of our world since the world began, and I think racism continues to be an issue that we all need to face and learn about. I think that history is a wonderful teacher, And I think that the school's role in teaching racism is teaching the history of it and teaching how we can learn from history. Racism still exists today among many, many different factions of us, amongst everyone. So yes, I think we need to continue to teach it. I think that we need to teach sex education in a different way than we've taught in our past. I think the world has changed. Our schools need to be inclusive. And I think that the way that we teach has to be inclusive. I don't have all of the answers for exactly how that would look, but I think we would need to speak to all students. And that may mean changing the way, that we do things. And as far as gender equity, I do think that we all probably still have some inherent biases, and that we need to confront those when we talk about gender. And in order to reach equality, I think that we do need to have equity when it comes to the different genders and our inherent biases.
Okay. You touched on this earlier a bit, but I'll ask anyway, if you'd like to amplify. What effect do you believe school board policies have on teacher morale and teacher shortages? And what, if anything, would you do as a school board director to improve teacher morale and teacher retention?
I think that the school board policies have an enormous impact on teacher morale and teacher shortages. And I was recently given an endorsement by the PSEA. And in my interview with them, we talked a lot about that. And I have also talked to other teachers in our district, and some of them have, too many of them have said that they are considering retirement, or they have left because of the morale, because of the divided community that we are and the divided boards that we are. And this is causing shortages, and we will continue to bleed if we don't start doing something to improve morale. I think one of the big things that would improve morale is to get our administration and our teachers on board with each other. And in order for that to happen, the administration has to have a supportive board. We have to support each other. And that is, and we have to have a cohesive relationship. And right now that relationship with administration and teachers is divided. Teachers don't have much of a say.
Okay. Do you advocate any changes to the curriculum at any level? And if so, what changes would you advocate?
Well, we talked a little bit about sex education, and I mentioned that I believe that things have changed in our world, and that we need to be a little bit more inclusive when we're teaching that. That is one area where I could say that there needs to be a change to the curriculum. I will admittedly say I don't know a lot about the curriculum that's in the schools now, so I can't speak too informed about that. But I would, in speaking with teachers in the past, I would say that the changes to the curriculum, if they happen, they need to happen with the teachers at the helm. Teachers have told me they know what our children need, yet sometimes they are just given a curriculum to teach without any input. So I would say if any changes were made to the curriculum, that those changes should have full support and input from our teachers.
Okay. What 3 things do you want to accomplish if you are elected to the school board?
One thing I would like to accomplish is some fiscal changes. I think that we need to refocus our efforts on where our taxpayers' dollars are spent. We need to spend smarter. We need to allocate more money to education, to remedying the learning gaps that COVID has caused, and we need to definitely invest in education. We need to invest in our staff, and we need to invest in safer schools. So safer schools is actually another one that that's kind of part of another of the three things. I think that we should expand the SRO program, but I don't just think that we should do that. I think in order to have safer schools, we need to not only expand that, but we also need to teach our kids how to be more inclusive of each other. And there are a lot of student-led programs out there that not only will allow us to have safer schools, but they will allow our students to take a lead role and to promote unity, which in turn will promote safety. And we need to fully staff our schools. That is a big one.
Okay, thank you. This concludes our interview with Patricia Carman, who is running for Region 3 School Director of the Central Bucks School District. Thank you, Patricia. Voters who are unsure of their school district region can go to www.vote411.org to see only the candidates who will be on their ballot for all of the races in the municipal primary. The election will be on Tuesday, May 16th.